What's up everybody? Welcome back to another one of my videos, and in this video we're going to be doing another deep dive video, and instead of doing one player we're going to be doing two players this week. So the players we're going to be going over are first Michael Porter Jr. and last LaMelo Ball. So let's take a deep dive look inside of their stats. First up, Michael Porter Jr. Just to reiterate what's been going on with him this season, his ADP was 67, so you're getting him approximately the 7th round, and he's currently the 22nd ranked small forward, which sounds pretty bad, but he's only played in 14 out of Denver's 24 games due to that COVID fiasco. He missed 10 games out of that, like 3 to 4 weeks, which was pretty substantial. So, what is Michael Porter Jr.'s value? Well, let's take a look at some stats here. So first up, we gotta talk about what is with the sudden drop in his value. And to understand the sudden drop in value, we have to understand what MPJ's value actually is. So his strengths are basically everything outside of assists. So points, threes, rebounds, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, steals, and blocks. And also, if you're in a 9 category league like I am, turnovers. So even though you can argue that his strengths are 8 of the 9 categories, I would mainly focus on his true value, which is shooting and defense. Now, if you look at the chart, right, the reason why his true value is shooting and defense is if you look at December's stats, if you look at the bottom line where it's bolded out, where he's averaging 29 minutes a game, well, his field goal percentage was at 56%, his three-point percentage was at 42%, and even though he was only shooting 2 free throws a game, he was shooting at such a high clip that the value looked very good at 88%. So if you look at those numbers and compare them to February, the numbers in February where he's getting 27 minutes a game, while he's only shooting 37.5% and 30% from three-point range, and his free throw percentage is at 75%. Now, there's a substantial difference in between the shooting numbers, right? Now, I bring this up because I'm actually seeing people dropping Michael Porter Jr. People are dropping him. I'm reading it on Facebook. People are trying to figure out what to do with him. Look, guys, his true value is in his shooting, and he's just like any other shooter. He's going to have highs, and he's going to have lows. So when he's not shooting well, you need to see what else is he doing well. So if you look at all 3 months, his rebounding is approximately the same. It's dipping down a little bit. 0.8 rebounds. He started the season at 6.8. Now he's at 6.0 based on the months. But it's still you're not gonna his value is not gonna deteriorate between 0.8 rebounds, right guys. So what else is he doing well? Well, if you look at his defensive categories between the month of December and the month of February, where in December he was awesome. Granted, it was only 4 games, but he was killing it. And the difference between December and February, where in February he can't shoot the ball, and people are dropping him. People are trying to figure out, hey, can I trade him for this low? Should I take this low ball offer? But his defensive stats are still the same, and there are values. There is true value in Michael Porter in terms of defense. His blocks still hanging out at 1.5. Now, in January, it didn't matter too much because he was still getting the steals. But in December and February, the main difference is that he just isn't shooting the ball well. And that's why before last night's game against Cleveland, he was only averaging 8 points a game. And he was only, let me see, his three-point percentage was at like 18%. And his overall field goal percentage was at like closer to 30%. But regardless, people just look at that because his true value does lie in shooting. That's like the number one thing for him. So when he's not shooting the ball well, he's not getting the points, and people just start panicking, especially when you lose 11 points a game and the strength of field goal percentage goes from strength to a significant weakness. People just panic off that. So you definitely want to. We'll get into what if you don't have what to do, but it's definitely a buy now opportunity, as you probably won't get a better chance to get him at any point in the season like you can now. Another point of value that I did want to bring up is Michael Porter Jr.'s usage rate. It's at 20.8. He's currently ranked 85th in the league, and he is right below John Collins and right above Buddy Hield. So I bring this up because when he's not shooting the ball well, because he is limited in his shots, if you look at every month, he killed it in the month of December where he was getting 13 shots, but he was shooting 56%. But when he came back in January, all of a sudden he went down to 9.7 shots, so 10 shots, so he lost about 3.5 shots a game, even though he was still maintaining the field goal percentage at 55%. What really hurts him now is in the month of February, where he's still shooting 10 shots a game. Now he's at 37%. So the usage rate is very helpful in understanding Michael Porter Jr.'s value because it's limited. It's very limited. Just like I said, he's right there with John Collins and Buddy Hield. So if he's not making his shots, he's not going to have all game to pick up additional shots. So like someone like my boy Zach LaVine, I love watching him, right? But there are games where there's a game against Orlando a few games ago where he had, I believe it was 4 points going into the fourth quarter, but he was shot like 2 for 8, right? And then he finished with 20 some points, and overall he went, I don't remember what it came out to be, but his field goal percentage went from like 2 and 8 or 2 and 9, and it came up significantly, and it was close to 40%, maybe even over. But Michael Porter Jr., if he starts low, well, that's pretty much it for him because he only gets those 10 shots a game. In the beginning, when he was getting 13 shots a game, that was pretty good, but because his usage rate is hovering around 21% or 21%, yeah, that's what I said. Anyway, because it hovers so low that he's not going to get those secondary opportunities to improve his shooting on any given night. So let's move on to my recommendation for Michael Porter Jr. So what are his problems? Like what have I seen so far this year? Well, inconsistent minutes, and that is in large part due to COVID. So when he starts, if you look at the chart above, when he starts, he kills it. In the 7 games he has started, when he's gotten 29 minutes a game, he would get 16 points, 7 rebounds. He'll give you an assist or 2, but his steals remain positive, 1 steal a game, and his blocks remain very positive at 1.7 blocks a game. And his turnovers are very significantly low. His field goal percentage is very good at 50%, and his three-pointers percentage is very good at 40%. All great numbers. All great numbers. The only thing I would say, and this isn't fantasy related, but you don't like seeing the -16 in the plus minus category, and that is a huge factor and probably in why he hasn't been playing much as well. So the first problem is inconsistent minutes, but I do think once he starts again, which I think he is now, once he maintains that starter's role, I do expect him to be able to have the opportunity to put up these numbers like he's been doing. And another problem, which he hasn't had any yet, but it's just something, it's probably the biggest reason why everyone's concerned drafting him higher than the 6th or 7th rounds, and that's his health. His health is still labeled as a concern, and it should be. He's been healthy so far, and it's only because of COVID that he's been out, but it's just something to keep in the back of your mind. And I bring this up because if you own him, you want to stay patient at this time. He had a great game last night, but before then, people were dropping him. Just straight up dropping him. No value. That's a great way to lose your league, guys, if you don't stay patient with your guys. There's 72 games. You're going to have highs and you're going to have lows. So, and just remember, so if you are looking to trade him, like if you don't like what you see, maybe hold on to him for a little bit. But even if you just want to trade him anyway, sell him for fair value at the very least. Sell him high for fair value. You have to remember, Michael Porter Jr.'s value is going to be highly dictated based on his shooting. And like I just said, there are 72 games in a season. He's going to hit slumps just like he's going to hit highs. So, again, just get fair value for him. Do not drop him. Get fair value or someone close to fair value if you really feel like you have to move him. Like if you're if this week's a do or die week for you, or next week's a do or die week, and you see an offer that's substantial enough, then maybe take it. But I mean, if you're winning, stay patient. Even if you're 500 and 500 or better, or close to 500, don't worry. He's going to pick it up, just like he did last night. He played great last night. All right, so what if you do not own him? Well, I'm 50-50 on him right now. So if you are interested in trading for him, contact the owner, see where his price is, um, see if you could get him on the cheap, or see if he's already frustrated with those 3 bad games. Because if he is, maybe you can get him for a much cheaper player. And also, buyer beware, as like I already mentioned, his value is highly dictated based on his shooting. So even if he's healthy, his rebounds are nice, but that's not the value you're going to be trading him for. You're trading him for his shooting, for his high shooting percentages and his points and his threes, more or less. Yeah, because when he starts 2.6 threes, I forgot to mention that, guys. But that's still very good. So when you're looking to trade for him, that's what you want. That's what you're looking to get for him. But the thing with shooters are they can be very hot and they could get very cold. And so basically, do you think he could be hot come playoff time? Because that's basically what you're going to be looking to trade for. You want him for playoffs. You want to be hot during playoffs. And if he's cold during playoffs, he's going to kill you. So, and that's why I'm 50-50 on him. It just depends on how you value him. Do you want to take the chance? Because, like I said, his true value lies in his shooting. All right, guys, before we move on to LaMelo Ball, remember, hit the like button if you found this video informative, or if you liked what I've talked about. And make sure you subscribe, as I'm going to be bringing more fantasy basketball content to you all season long. All right, so let's get into LaMelo Ball now. So unlike Michael Porter Jr., whose stock's pretty low at the moment, even though he had a great night last night, his stock is still low. LaMelo Ball's stock, it's been shooting to the moon. It's been like GameStop. Well, maybe not anymore, because that stock's pretty low now. But you guys get the drift. Anyway, his ADP, just to reiterate what's been going on with him this season, his ADP was at 60, so you're getting him about the 6th or 7th rounds. He's currently ranked as the 11th point guard in the league. Now, great news for all LaMelo Ball's owners, he's finally starting. So what is LaMelo's trade value, specifically what I'm going to get into? Now, to get into that, we got to go through an overview of what's been going on with him, right? So per game this season, he's been looking good, even for just a rookie. He's played 26 games. He's only started 6, which we'll get to in a minute. But overall, he's been averaging 27 minutes, getting 12 shots a game at a 44% clip. And he's shooting almost 5 threes a game at a 36% clip, which are great numbers, especially for a rookie. Now his 2-point percentage is 49%, which is great for a point guard. And his free throw percentage is at 79%, which is also very good. But just remember, the volume isn't that much. So his free throw percentage it'll impact your overall week to week, but it's not substantial. So anyway, moving on to his total. So total rebounds, 5.8 on the season, assists, 6.1 on the season, and steals, 1.4 on the season. All very good numbers for a point guard. And his points at 14.3 points per game. Solid for a rookie, right, guys? Now, he has only 2.5 turnovers a game, but we're going to get into why that's actually a bad number. So first up, let's see. Again, so 27 minutes a game, 14, 6, and 5, 1.4 steals for a rookie at 44%, and 79 from the free throw line, and 1.83s. That's probably the only thing I didn't really touch on. So 1.83s. So all solid numbers from LaMelo Ball so far this season. So where can he improve exactly? Outside of everywhere, because that's basically what's happening. But besides that, mainly in his usage rate, it's only at 24.9. So I only say only because he's ranked 46th overall. But he's been playing great. So he's at ranked 46, so he's right below Pascal Siakam and right above Gordon Hayward. So just think about the numbers they've been putting up. I know people have looked at Siakam and they're saying he's had such a bad season. But if you look at the numbers, it's not that bad. He's putting up solid numbers. Like his free field goal percentage is pretty low, but other than that, he's still seeing the ball quite often. And then his teammate Gordon Hayward, he's having a strong season, so he's right above Gordon Hayward, and he just started the start. So things should be looking up for LaMelo Ball. Now, the second place where I feel like he could improve tremendously is his turnover. So you look at the whole number and you see 2.5. That's really good for a point guard who's starting at 27 minutes a game. That's very good. But 16.2 is his turnover percentage, and that is very high. Even for a rookie at 27 minutes, that's just very high. That needs to come down to like 14. And when that does, he's going to have more opportunities to get more people involved. And if that does come down, if his turnover percentage does come down, not only will it be better for you in that category, but it'll likely be better for you in the assist column as well. That's how I would predict that. I'm kind of imagining he's putting up some, he's trying to showboat a little bit. He's trying to make those fancy passes. If he cleans up his passes a little bit, he's probably going to turn those turnovers into assists. All right, so again, I just want to point out usage rate 24.9 and turnover percentage 16.2. Those are two numbers we're going to be talking about in the next slide. So let's get into it. So we're going to look deeper. We're going to take a deep dive into the LaMelo Ball stats right now. And we're going to mainly be looking at him as a starter. In the last 6 games, he has started. And so he's turned that usage rate from 24.9 to 27.6. He's averaging 33 minutes a game, 21.7 points, 5.3 rebounds, 6.3 assists, 1.3 steals. All fantastic numbers, especially for a rookie. Now, his turnover has gone up a little bit, 2.8. That's going to come with the territory of getting more minutes because, especially for a point guard, you're going to be handling the ball more. Now, his field goal percentage has surprisingly improved as a starter from 44 to 45%. Not that much, but still very nice because now if we go back to the last slide, before we do, if you look at the field goal attempts, that's 17.3. Now, if you look at overall, he's only averaged 12 field goal attempts on the season. So again, that's 5.3 more field goal attempts per game, and he's shooting at a better clip. So he's getting more into a rhythm. He knows if he misses a couple of extra shots, he can make it up at some point in the game because his usage rate is now so high. And then also his three-point percentage is at almost 49%, 3.3 a game. He's just been killing it as a starter. And his free throw percentage is at 89%, which has been awesome. So what here in this chart is not sustainable? Well, first up, three-point percentage will not be sustained. 49%, he's not that good of a shooter. It will come down. He is hot right now. But even if he continues at a 6.8 three-pointers attempted per game, if he just shoots 35%, not even 49%, but if he goes down to 35%, that's still 2.4 threes a game, and that's still that's a big positive in that category for anyone who has LaMelo Ball. Now, what else is not sustainable? His free throw percentage. It's likely going to come down between 80 and 84%. Right now, he's on a high. But even still, 3 free throw attempts per game, it's going to affect the overall for the week, but it's not going to go either way. But in any case, he should be shooting above 80% for the rest of the season, and it's going to be good. So let's talk about the usage rate. Went from 24.9 to 27.6 as a starter, right? So now that's ranked 30th overall in the league. Now, that's right below Zion and right above SGA. That's great company. Being 30th overall and with that company, with those two players, that's great. That's exactly what LaMelo Ball owners want to hear. So, what is my recommendation? Well, let's get into my forecast. And it's not about snow, I swear. I've had enough snow already. And we're about to get hit harder. I live in Pennsylvania. Oh, it's terrible. Anyway, it's reasonable to assume that LaMelo can average no less than 18 points per game at 33 minutes a night. So if you look at the chart, he's almost at 22 a game. And it's because he's shooting the ball so well, specifically in threes and specifically in the free throw percentage. So I do expect those numbers to come back down to earth a little bit. So he might lose a point, 2 or 3 points. So I expect him to be at no less than 18 points a game for the rest of the season. So this would insinuate that he averages about 45% from the field and about 35% from three-point range, which is very possible and very likely. And for his 6 assists and 5 rebounds per game, they have been a common theme all season long. So they should stay there or even go higher. And especially going back to the turnover percentage, if he could clean up some of those turnovers, as he's still just a rookie, he's still just learning the NBA game, he's still learning how athletic players are. And I do expect him to get better as the season goes on, especially with this passing. And if that does happen, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets to close to 8 assists a game. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes an 18, 8, and like 5 guy for the rest of the season. So what's my recommendation? If you own him, hold him or sell very high. His usage rate is comparable to other point guards such as Gilchrist Alexander and Brogdon, who's having a fantastic season as well. He will likely become more and more of a force as the season progresses. Now, if you don't want to trade him, that's fine. I'm just giving you guys some names that can compare. You can compare LaMelo Ball to. And I bring that up because if I'm a LaMelo Ball owner, I'm going to try and get the same value for LaMelo right now as SGA or Brogdon. Probably more than SGA right now because he missed last night's game because of that sprained knee, I believe it was. I think he has something wrong with his knee. I may be wrong on the injury, but I do know he missed last night. So his value is probably more than Gilchrist Alexander's right now. And the sky's the limit for LaMelo Ball. So if I'm an owner, unfortunately I'm not. But if I were an owner, I'm asking for the moon. Now, if you do not own him, check in with the owner. He may not be aware to the level at which LaMelo Ball is currently playing. And if he's not aware, maybe you could trade him like a much lesser player where you could have traded a couple weeks ago. Compared to what you would have to trade for now. Now, if the owner is aware, you will likely have to pay the same price for LaMelo as you would for SGA or Brogdon. Like that would be my price at the very least. Because like I said, he's going to be more and more of a force as the season goes on. And once he's going to get more acclimated to the NBA game, the more he plays. And I expect a substantial jump. I feel like, again, 18, 8, and 5 would be my numbers for him for the remaining of the season as the season progresses. That's what I think I would be getting from him. And if I'm right, that's very valuable. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button if you feel like it's informative or if it helps you either trade away either player or trade for either player. And make sure you subscribe to my channel as I'm going to be dropping more fantasy basketball content all season long. Thank you guys for watching.